what is going on with the Edmonton Oilers?
Woo!
How do you lose 9-1?
9-1.
I am all in on McDavid and Draisaitl and going back and figuring it out, but we're getting very, very close to the part of the season where you might start having doubts if you're in that dressing room, and 9-1 is not a good look at the best of days.
We are back. Welcome to the latest November edition of the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by your friends and ours at BODOG. The band all here, chilling like villains. At least we're not in a place that it's snowing yet. My goodness, it's getting frosty across the Great White North. Literally, my sister, Officer Sabalski, working a game, a blizzard at a soccer championship the other night. How random. Anyway, I digress. Calder Trophy winner, the Razor, Andrew Raycroft in the house. We got the Cup winner, Commie, Mike Commodore also in the house. And your friend, the one you love to mute in Shell, Sabalski is here. All right. Razor, you got a little taste of the cold coming up to Canada here, buddy.
I did, and I appreciate Officer Sabalski more than anything in the world, especially this week, Veterans Day, Remembrance Day. I should have
That's right.
Had my poppy on. And yeah, as I was heading out of Toronto last night, the snow was coming down. I thought we were going to de-ice. I thought I was going to have a half hour more longer on the plane. We got out, but it's snowing pretty good up there.
Woo, yeah. Commie, you picked it right, I think, at this time of the year, living in Arizona, my friend.
This is kind of prime time down here. Like it's the 110 is gone. It's like, 90s. It gets into the 80s. Yeah, it's a good time to be down here for sure. There's no sign of snow. I'll put it that way.
By the way, for those of us or those of you that are tuning in to join us on the YouTube stream, I love the usual suspects look here, Commie. Like it's like the against the wall, like an interrogation room with the shadowing and the moonlighting. You got the
These
hair, like it looked like you were in a night.
These furnished places, I don't get to pick the furniture here. It's prison rules around here.
I was
even
say,
Spielberg directing that thing over there. It's like weird artsy thing.
You may not be a member of the Nashville Predators, but you may look like a predator, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It is. Look, the shadow behind me looks kind of over here. It's kind of creepy.
Great.
It works, buddy. It works. Yeah, you're still a big deal. Come on. You're still making it work. And belated happy birthday, Commie. What'd you do? Like, tell us what you did. It sounds like you had some fun.
I did have some fun. I'll be honest. I am tired today. I went and played golf today, and I couldn't wait to get off the golf course. I was exhausted. It was the Hondo Rodeo down here in Phoenix. So I went and watched the rodeo Friday and Saturday night, and then I stayed for the concert. Friday night was Nickelback, and last night was Kid Rock. Actually, last night was kind of a surprise. I didn't know it was going to happen. I actually thought I was going to meet my girlfriend's parents and then go to the concert with Ashley. Anyways, a little surprise thing. Ray was there. There was 8 or 10 people ready to go down there in a party bus. So you can imagine where that took me. I was drinking anything I could get my hands on, and I paid for it today. I'll tell you that right now. I went and did a self-defense class. I was like dying for the guy just knocked me out. Oh, I must have stunk too. Oh man. But it was fun. But I definitely, after this podcast, what time is it right now? 8:07. I will be in bed by 9:00 tonight. That's for sure.
Can we just address the elephant in the room for a second? What is a 6'4", 200-pounder doing a self-defense? I mean, man, I watched you handle yourself on the ice. You seem like you had enough as it is.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. You know what? I've always been kind of interested in it. It's called Krav Maga. You know what? At the end of the day, hopefully it's something that I never have to use. But you know what? It's not a bad thing to have in my back pocket. And I mean, I guess to relate to, hey, you never know. I might run into Babs again at some charity event at some point. I better be ready. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I better get myself together, keep myself on point. So it is interesting.
Discipline, Commie. It's all about discipline, right, buddy?
That's right. Yep. But this stuff's like this is, they teach you how to hurt people in this thing. Like this isn't like an art. Like this isn't a martial art. This is like this is how you hurt. Like, we're ending this. It's like a street fight. You're ending this like right now. So got to be careful. End up in jail.
Well, you got the lighting for it here, so
that's
all
right.
coming
Yeah,
together.
ready.
Just a reminder, we are also on Apple and Spotify along with YouTube, and you can also follow along on all our social channels on X, on TikTok, on Instagram. Listen, why don't we just dive into our Saturday special, the Clearing the Crease Saturday special. Teeing up this week, we went 1 and 2. Kami, you continue to deliver. I'm serving up poop emojis weekly. Razor, you came up a little short here on this one as well, but Kami, you're crushing it. So why don't you tee us up for this Saturday coming up? What's your Saturday night special?
All right, my Saturday night special. I had 2, but one of the other ones being used. Okay. I'm gonna stick with the old game plan. I know people, if they keep listening, when they listen to this podcast, they might get a little sick of it. We're just looking for back-to-back night victims, but the St. Louis Blues are at home, which that's a good thing. They're playing back-to-back. Bad news is the second half of that is Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is pretty good. So I will go with the Las Vegas Golden Knights in St. Louis on Saturday night.
Oh, I like it. Oh. Razor, where do you want to go?
Yeah, I deviated from the plan the last couple of weeks. I went 2-0. I got a little arrogant. This is exactly why I don't gamble at the poker table, because I go all in after I feel real good about myself. Chased it the last 2 weeks. I'm going back to discipline, going back to my plan, not trying to chase odds. I'm taking Dallas against Philly. Philly plays the night earlier. They've got Dallas at home. Taking Dallas. Feel really good about it. Like really, really good about that one.
Yeah, I like Dallas, man, and they've looked good for the most part this season. Even though they're not scoring a ton, they still find ways to win. Give me the Senators over the LA Kings. I want a team at home. I want a team that's playing well. And I really like how Tim Stützle has played in the absence of Brady Tkachuk. And Razor, I think you just had a chance to watch the Sens the other night against the Bruins, and Boston took that one in overtime. But I like how the Sens are playing right now, and to do it without their captain. Give me Ottawa over LA in the nation's capital. So there's your Saturday special right now. You've got Razor going Dallas. You got Kami going Vegas. And you got Cebulski with the Sens. There's your Clearing the Crease Saturday night special. Book it. Book it. Okay. And I guess we should also remind our listeners as well. We've got the Clearing the Crease poker tournament coming up November 25th.
We got a date now? Oh, good.
Yeah. November 25th. Good. Yeah,
right.
Tells you how good your weekend was because we shared that with people last week. So,
okay, point taken.
It's in your calendar, Tommy. Don't worry. You put it in your calendar a month ago.
We kid because we love.
November 25th. Okay, all right. I missed.
We kid because we love. I don't know if we picked a time yet. Did we pick a time? Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll just stick to the date for now. Save the date, people. November 25th. It's the Clearing the Crease podcast poker tournament. Watch out for Kami. He is a shark with the cards. He's usually at the final table. It's free to play. We'll send a link out soon enough that you'll get a chance to register and hop on board and join us. There's also bonuses if you knock out the likes of Kami, Razor, or myself. So come hang out. 'Tis the season. It's time to have some fun, and we want to hang out with our friends, and that includes you as well. So looking forward to that. November 25th. Save the date. Confirmed? Final answer? You guys got
Final
it?
answer.
I got it. Yep, I got it. I'll remember to save it.
Done.
Kami, I want to throw this at you. You're an absolute rock star on social media, having fun with the green jacket each and every year in the National Hockey League. And
it's a great event, that green jacket.
I know it's early.
Never disappoints.
No, it never disappoints. And I love how you get the Masters music, and you bring in a little Jim Nantz boys, hello friends, and you get the leaderboard. So tell me this. I know it's early, but I just thought I'd share these numbers. Is there somebody that stands out for you here? But we got Mackenzie Weegar atop the leaderboard from the Calgary Flames right now at dash 14. You got a three-way tie for second with a couple of Blues with Braden Shen and Logan Mailloux. And then you got Weegar's teammate Coronado. They're all at minus 12 right now. And then a guy who is he provides us a lot to talk about each and almost every week, it feels like, on the Clearing the Crease podcast. Evan Bouchard, he of the Bouche bomb or Bouche bombed.
Oh, yeah.
Dash 11 tied with RNH. So a couple of Oilers right now already at -11. Anything? Anybody you want to talk about?
Well, first
no
off,
surprises, I think, in some areas.
Yeah, I would say no, well, not a whole lot. Maybe the Blues is a little surprising, but the guys from there. I mean, Bouchard, we give him a raise, he starts making birdies. I love to see that. I think it is definitely very early. It's not even the first round's not over. Everybody's got 3-4 more holes left of opening round, so there's lots left to be played. But if things keep going like the first round, there's a pretty good chance, I think, that there's going to be a green jacket handed out in Southern Alberta this year. They might be, they're going to have the Masters champion. They are off to a smoking start. But yeah, that's tough too. I mean, it's basically a minus every game. God, for people that haven't been in a dressing room, like you can kind of, on few times I was on shitty teams. At the last 10 15 games of the year, maybe you can actually kind of have some fun with this a little bit, in the room. Hey, look, your team's out of the playoffs. Your team stinks, but you're playing a game. You got to try and have some fun. But yeah, 15 games into the year, and you're like, oh boy, that's not very funny. I don't think.
So is there a point where teammates will chirp others about that, Dash?
No, well,
go ahead.
It's too early.
It's too early for that now. Yeah.
It's way too early. And what a leaderboard Kami has going on right now. Those are big names that you just rattled off.
Yeah.
But to Kami's point on early in the season, I was watching a hockey game the other night with a really good former player, really, really, really good. And he went through the stats and he's like, oh, this guy's -6 already. And I'm like, well, no, it's early. He's like, no. He's -6 already. What's going on there? Let alone -12 or 13. Early in the season and you're that big of a number, it's a huge problem.
I mean, you're Uyghur there. You're sitting there right now. And I would say, I'm sure he's not sitting and look, we all know the plus-minus stat. It's not the most revealing thing in the world. We've talked about it before. But at the end of the day, it's still there. I mean, you're sitting there. If I'm Mackenzie Uyghur, I'm on pace to be -60 this year.
Well,
I better start playing some defense.
It's still in the back of most hockey cards, right?
How do you dig yourself out of -12?
Oh.
He's got to be on the ice for 12 even strength goals really quickly to get himself out of that. It takes a lot.
It takes a lot. The Flames are going to have to start winning a little bit, I think, or he's going to have to make some excellent changes. One of the two, line changes.
Oh. Yeah, that's a tough go. But yeah, I couldn't help it. It came across. I was going through a feed and it's let's check on the plus minus. And it was there are again, we're into early to mid-November right now. We've got some significant double-digit dashes, -14, -12. It's funny. Watching the Blues. Just a quick drive-by on the Blues here, guys. But I worked a game for Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey about a month ago, and had it. So I was kind of paying close attention to the Blues for about a week there, and they look great. I watched them in Calgary, and they really came to life. Jimmy Snuggerud, Jimmy Snipes really impressed me. Had a couple.
Everybody looks great in Calgary.
Yeah, that's the thing. He had a couple against Vancouver, but everybody, then they came into Vancouver and danced all around the Canucks in an afternoon game on Thanksgiving. And honestly, since they left Western Canada, they have kind of gone back to this. Exactly what happened to them last year. Remember, they had to go on that massive heater to get into the playoffs last year, and it was the same thing when they won the Stanley Cup in 2019. It's like they hibernate until January, and then they come to life. But it's just kind of weird to see.
The Stanley Cup win was a long time ago. So that, there's not
2019,
much. But I'm the same way as you. Whenever I look at the standings, there's always teams that I look at and I'm like, oh man, that's going to be a long year. Or, you just figure they're probably going to screw it up. You just trust teams more than others. The St. Louis Blues for me, when I look at them, I'm like, and I haven't seen a whole lot of their games, but I just always figure that, they're going to figure it out. Yeah. I don't think anybody, I'm sitting here, we're talking about the green jacket. there's a few of St. Louis Blues in the mix. Like, I don't think a St. Louis Blues is winning and they might, but I just always think they're going to get it together and start playing better. Whereas some of these other teams just like, oh boy. But yeah, they do. I mean, last year was what? After the Four Nations, they were literally the best team in the league.
Yes,
to make the playoffs.
They absolutely were. They were unbelievable.
Yeah, like literally number one, I think.
They pushed Winnipeg right to overtime in Game 7 of the first round of the playoffs, right? Like they were on a heater. Binnington came to life. Four Nations. Anyway, it's in some respects it's early, and for some guys, it's feeling like a long season already. Case in point, Mackenzie Weegar. Razor, I want to hit on the Boston Bruins. They were such a fascinating team to talk about in the summer because you made a point where I think a lot of people thought that they were going to be on the outside looking in. They may not be very good this year. And you said something I thought that really stuck with me, and I was reminded of it this week, just how well they're playing. You kind of said that there's no way that this team is rebuilding based on the contracts that they're committed to right now with Swayman, with Pasternak, McAvoy. Like, they got a ton of horses right now. They're expected to win. I mean, they cut ties on a lot of long-serving Bruins last year, and I mean, they seem to have found their groove. What stands out for you right now? You watch a lot of Boston.
I do, and they've shown a lot of resiliency in the first month. They won 3 in a row. They lost 6 of the next 7, and now they've won 6 in a row. And now they're 10-7. So now you're backing, like, now you're starting to do math if you're the Boston Bruins. Like, now we can we can find a way to back into the playoffs here. Yeah. David Pasternak's a superstar, one of the top 6 players on the planet at playing hockey. You have a back end with Hampus Lindholm, Charlie McAvoy. Marco Sturm comes in as the new coach. New coach is like a big deal too, right? He's working guys in. And then you have role guys, the Tanner Janots of the world, the Mark Kastlicks of the world, that they're grinding right now. And Are they as bad as 6 of 7? Are they as good as 6 in a row? I'm not sure of any of that. But what I do know is that the Eastern Conference is up for grabs. No one's really that good. And the Boston Bruins have some structure right now. And they might bank enough points here in the next few weeks to get there. They'll be in the mix for the rest of the season. It's been impressive how they've done it in 2 drastic ways.
I was just going to say further to that, Morgan Geekie with what he's doing as a Bruin. And, we talk a lot about what we've seen in football in the last couple of years with these redemption stories, whether it's Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, Geno Smith up until he became a Raider, like all these guys who were essentially seen as sort of failed failures or castaways, exactly, misfits or whatever however you want to define them. And now they've all become, successful quarterbacks with a little bit of time. Geekie, I mean, boy, for a team that struggled to score since their inception, like the Seattle Kraken, wouldn't they love to have Morgan Geekie back, Razor? I mean, what a fit.
Well, so on top of this, I grabbed Morgan Geekie last season, probably around December. So just for a little backstory, and Kami, you're going to love this more. Like,
okay,
November 15th. He was healthy scratch for 3 straight games. November, he on the road, healthy scratch. Yeah. And he's a UFA at the end of the season. Healthy scratch in November, can't get in the lineup. Nobody just can't play. And then Montgomery gets fired. He gets put in the lineup with David Pasternak, and they start finding chemistry, and they start cooking together. They start 4 months later, this guy signs a 6-year, $36 million contract right off of the trash heap. Like, and I talked to Morgan in January. I'm like, I have more respect for you and a guy like you that went through a healthy scratch, that could have mailed it in, could have complained, could have felt sorry for himself and just went back to Manitoba or waited for the next deal. He fought through all of that. And now the story gets even better, Seaball, and you brought it up. Now he's leading the NHL in goal scoring. Now he scores every night. Now he's actually underpaid with what that contract was. And literally a year ago, I was watching him getting healthy scratch. So It's the redemption story is great, but the guys who actually really fight through the redemption story, I have so much respect for Morgan Geekie.
That's hard. You know, I mean, I've been there. Most, you know, at some point, most people, you know, sooner or later, for not everybody, but you know, those healthy scratches, sooner or later, they're coming for the majority of people who play in the NHL. And, you know, I've gone through it a couple times myself. Like, it's easy to get, like, it's weird. It's kind of hard to describe. Like, obviously you want to play and everything, but it's easy. Like, it becomes hard to go to the rink. It becomes like everything just gets a whole lot harder. And I mean, part of being a pro.
So, Kami, what is it? Is it embarrassment? Is it like, give us what's that feeling? Because like you said, it can go the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't. Embarrassing's not the right. I mean, maybe at times, depending on what the situation.
Pissed off.
Yeah, pissed off. I mean, I could say like when I was started getting healthy, scratched under Scott Arniel, like I was straight up pissed off. And I'm sitting here, I'm watching us lose games, and I'm watching, you know, the kick-ins in front of the net. I'm supposed to be good at clearing the front of the net. I'm the highest paid defenseman in the organization, and you won't let me play. And we're getting spanked. Like, it's one thing if you're sitting up in the press box and the guys are winning. Like, I can understand that, but when it goes the other way, yeah, I mean, I was pissed off there. There's no question about it. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's really not. Sometimes a little bad luck goes into it. Like not in my case, but like, you know, somebody's playing better. It's just you know, it's hard. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to try and describe for people that haven't been there, because it's very hard for like this to you know, start wearing on you mentally. And then then it becomes hard to come to the rink, which that sucks. Like, it shouldn't be hard to come to the rink, right? You're playing a game. Like, you're in the NHL. You're making a good, you know, obviously you're making good money, but it's like, you know, you have some pride, and I don't know. It's an interesting. So I didn't know that, Razor. Good for him, because that can go the other way too.
Let me throw this to both of you then. Razor, it's obviously a little different as a goalie when you know, you're not getting healthy scratched, but you may be relegated to backing up. But for both of you guys, what would be your advice to a young player who might be listening right now, who goes through a moment, whether it's in junior, whether it's in the minors, or whether it's in the National Hockey League? What advice would you give to a player who would be going through at healthy scratch or being relegated to having to sit? Kami, I'll start with you.
Yeah, you know what? I got this piece of advice, and it applies to. I got this piece of advice when I was in the American Hockey League. I played a lot of games there, 250 or 300, something like that. And I forget who told me, but one thing, I mean, obviously you need to show up and work and all that, but it's easy, even if things aren't, well, like, you know, you talk about a kid, let's say things aren't working out on this team, whatever team he's on now. I think it's a good thing to remember that there's always somebody watching. Like, there's always somebody else watching, like, to bring it to like the American League thing. You know, a guy told me when I was in the minors, he's like, Mike, hey, just because I think I might have been in Albany maybe. So, you know, New Jersey, he was like, hey, look, yeah, New Jersey Devils are just one of the teams. There's always somebody watching. So when you think, like, you know, if you are in the lineup and, you know, it's a Sunday afternoon game in Hartford, I'm going to mail this one in. You never know who's watching. And I think that's a good kind of attitude to have.
Razor?
Gives you a little motivation too.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice.
To the same point, 60 minutes changes everything. And whether it's an injury in the NHL in that 60 minutes that gets you a call up, whether it's the 60 minutes in Hartford when you feel like shit on Sunday afternoon and Albany's watching and they bring you, 60 minutes changes everything. And that's every single night in a pro hockey season. 60 minutes can change your life one way or the other all the time. Great advice. It almost translates in some respects to, from a broadcasting standpoint. I remember somebody once saying to me, just remember that at any time, somebody is tuning in for the first time and possibly tuning out for the last time. Right. So be impactful, be memorable, you know, and that's somebody's always watching. Kami, I think that totally translates. That's why we work so hard here. Right. That's right. That's what we're doing right now. Right. Can't even keep a straight face with that.
Somebody's always watching.
Terrible. Here, hold on. Let me get a better poker face of that. Yeah. Well said, Razor. Well said. There we go. Real quick, I want to hit on, we want to get to Don't Puck It Up here in a moment, but Razor, the Leafs, here we are, mid-November. I think the Jays were a lovely distraction for the city of Toronto to pay attention, but the Leafs have been pretty mid thus far in life after Mitch Marner.
Yeah, I had an up-close personal view on the boards this weekend. Bruins were in town, and they miss Mitch Marner, boys. Like imagine giving up a 100-point player and thinking you're going to be the same. Like there's something missing. There's something missing, and my guess is it's Mitch Marner. Like this guy did a lot for this team, and especially in the regular season. I know it was easy to jump on him in the postseason, but he was worth a half a goal or a goal a game, and we're seeing that right now with this team. They're Toronto Maple Leafs are a little lost. They are.
Dry hair in the regular season.
How happy do you think? The guys will never admit it. Guys will never admit it. If anybody asks, it's like, I wish the guys all the best. And, I love the Toronto Maple Leafs, blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you what, right now, he's sitting in Las Vegas, flush with cash, nobody bothering him. And the Leafs are struggling a little bit. And I don't care what he says publicly. He loves it. I'll tell you that for sure.
No doubt.
No
doubt.
Just kicking back.
You must be loving that, watching the world burn in Toronto, right? No. I wish them well.
No. Yeah, I love all those guys. Anyway.
That's a perfect way to get into don't puck it up. Well, Marner, don't puck it up. You got a good thing going right now.
Good thing going.
Let me hit with the Florida Panthers. They've killed me twice in these Clearing the Crease Saturday night specials. So you know what? It's time to serve up a little bit of payback to the Florida Panthers, flirting with the basement of the Eastern Conference right now. Look, the two-time Stanley Cup champions, we know what the roster is, and I think most people are all confident they're going to get there. But look, you got Bobrovsky right now with a very, very, very sub-mid save percentage. Sam Reinhart, one assist? You got Bennett with 5 points in 15 games. You got no Tkachuk, no Barkov, at least for the foreseeable future. And I'm sure at some point they'll weather the storm. Brad Marchand's been great. But I'll tell you what, the Florida Panthers, these next 2 weeks, guys, particularly this week, look at the week they've got ahead as we record this podcast. Vegas, Washington, Tampa.
Ooh.
You follow that up next week. So you've got your arch blood rival in the Sunshine State with Tampa coming up next weekend. And then you follow that up. Vancouver, not so much, but then you got the Devils and you got a rematch of the Stanley Cup final for the Oilers. So if the Panthers aren't up for these games, because these are the meaningful games, right? If this is the wake-up call for the salty Panthers to kind of get them back and find their groove again, these 2 weeks, look at the schedule. Florida, don't puck it up before it gets too late. These are some big games coming up ahead for the Florida Panthers, guys.
I like it. C-Ball. I'll go next. I'm kind of staying on the same sort of the Nashville Predators. This isn't really don't puck it up because they've been pucking it up here for about the last 100 games. Yeah. But, a year or whatever, 2 off seasons ago, make all these signings, and they're going to win the cup. These guys are unreal. I think
we gave them the cup on this show. Yeah.
Yeah. I think honestly, I'm like, man, the Predators are going to be unreal. They're terrible. And I don't see, I don't see a whole lot of Predator games, but I'm sitting there. What the hell is going on in Nashville? Like, are they just slow? And hey, look, he's a friend of the show. He is one of my favorite teammates ever. I will never say a bad thing about Steven Stamkos. I think Steven Stamkos is the man. But so I'm not even going to blame it on Steve. Who's he playing with? He's got 3 goals and 4 points. Does anybody give him the puck? So I got to watch some Preds games and figure out what's going on. But
he looked invisible against Vancouver last week, man. It was I want to root for Stammer too, and it just a bad fit, it seems.
Yeah. God, he's got, I have no idea. This is just me guessing. We should get him out of there. He needs to go somewhere. Now that's going to be tough. I mean, he's making a pretty good chunk of change, but if we could get him out of there and get him on a team that has a good power play, that's what I'd like to see personally. But anyways, that's my thing. So it's not really don't puck it up.
You don't call me. There's been, the dollars you'd have to find a way to make the dollars work, but because one
maybe
way or another,
it's
still a robust ticket, but Vancouver's looking for a number 2 C right now. There's been some people thinking maybe. Anyway, I just think
why not?
There needs to be a change of scenery, it seems.
Yeah. He can't be having fun. That sucks.
Fraser?
Well, I'm going to stay in the country of Canada. And what is going on with the Edmonton Oilers?
Ooh.
How do you lose 9-1?
9-1.
I am all in on McDavid and Draisaitl and going back and figuring it out, but we're getting very, very close to the part of the season where you might not start believing in what they have built, and you might start having doubts if you're in that dressing room. And 9-1 is not a good look at the best of days. Has anyone ever? We'll send the research department on to. Has anyone won a cup or won a playoff round losing 9-1 in the regular season, especially on a Saturday night? Oh,
I can answer. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, in Carolina, we got smoked.
Before you answer, I'm going to ask you the question, Commie. Okay. Does this motivate is this motivating that? Is this the don't puck it up Edmonton Oilers? Now they're going to go on a run after losing 9-1.
Well, it should light a little fire under their. You would think. I mean, you don't want to get beat 9-1 in any part of the country, but you definitely don't want to get beat 9-1 at home. Yes, in Carolina, we got smoked. Now, this is a little different, though. We won 9 games in a row. We were trying to get to 10, and the Atlanta Thrashers came into Carolina and put up a 9 spot on us. So that was the end of our winning streak, and we went on to win that year. But that's a little different. Like, we were hot, and the Magic just ran out, and we got smoked. And to be honest, we didn't really care, and then we started winning again after. But, yeah, they got I was just checking. That's why I was looking down. What was our boy? He must have had at least an eagle, our boy Bouchard, on the plus minus. Where is he? Oh, -3, double eagle. Not the worst on the team, though. 3 guys were -4.
That's not bad, actually. -3 at a 9-1 game.
Yeah, that is
by the way, not to date our show as we record this on a Sunday night, but Nathan McKinnon had a pair of goals on Saturday in that Oiler win. He already has a pair after 20 minutes against the Canucks here in Vancouver. I mean,
Colorado's a menace.
They are a menace, and the big guns are going. Makar and McKinnon. Like, if you're waving the Canadian flag, come Italy in 2026. Those 2 guys look fantastic right now.
Yeah.
So the Oilers a little nervous about that one, then, Razor.
Yeah. The don't puck it up is like we're trending in an ugly way there with those guys.
Well, and goaltending never addressed, and you know what? That man, I hate to just sit there and blame the back end, but man, it's not. It's the same stuff.
It's the same stuff, yeah.
All the same.
Didn't they do this last year too, right? They were awful for a while, and then didn't they rattle off like 16 in a row or something?
It was like
crazy?
3 straight years. Remember, they got rid of Jay Woodcroft. They brought in Knobloch 2 years ago at this time, and here they are again, slow start. And
Oilers.
See, but I don't know, man. Like, just a quick theory, just real quick on this. The fact that Florida's where they are right now, look, no Tkachuk, no Barkov, those are crippling losses. Like, those are 2 superstar players. But when you take the amount of hockey that Edmonton and Florida have played for the last, like, for Florida, I mean, 3 straight years to the Cup final. Yeah. Edmonton 2 straight years relying on their horses. Like, even McDavid's looked somewhat human this year to start.
Yeah, nobody. When people talk about the Stanley Cup hangover, you're usually referring to the team that's won. So in this case, Florida's won the last 2 years, but the Edmonton Oilers have played just as much hockey, and they've been right to the bitter end the last 2 years. And just because you didn't win doesn't mean like you didn't work your ass off to get the whole way there. So there could be something to that too. They played a lot of hockey. There's no question.
Awesome. Okay. Well, on that note, let's wind things down. Just to recap for your Clearing the Crease Saturday special for this week: Razor taking Dallas. Commie's got Vegas, and Go Sens Go from Cybulski. That's coming up on Saturday. The full details will be out on social media later this week if you want to jump on the action and play, courtesy of BODOG. On that note, we will say so long for now. And for Razor, Commie, I'm Cybulski. We'll see you next week right here on the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by your friends and ours, BODOG. See ya.